It's a lore book I came across. This is on Morrowind Fauna, Part 1, by Julia Acilio. It's a copy of the full manuscript should follow this letter shortly. It says, this is but an abstract to satisfy your curiosity until the scribes can finish their work. This is on, the first one says, common Vvardenfall guar. Guar are but the most commonly known species of a large family of bipedal, lizard-like creatures, having been imported to Cyrodiil as beasts of burden for hundreds of years. They are content to graze with their lower jaws for tubers and roots just under the surface of their ashland home. Wild guar are most docile, but have been known to become feral and attack in the wilds of some lands. Guar are fierce if provoked and have been known to kill. Their closest relatives are the elite and the Kaguti, also common in the lands of Morrowind, as well as the pony guar. Pony guar, as nicknamed by visitors to Morrowind, are a smaller species of guar that are rarely exported since they lack the physical strength of their larger cousins. Not well known outside of southern Morrowind, they are a curiosity, sometimes raised as pets, but some do raise them for their meat and skins. Elite and Kaguti. Elite are close relatives to the guar, with far sharper sets of teeth. They are omnivores, and while they do not hunt in organized packs, they have been known to attack other creatures, and even people for opportunistic meal. Elite supplement their nutrition, much like the guar, by rooting. For many years, it became the vogue for exotic animal enthusiasts from Valenwood to import elite for their own amusement. Many escaped captivity, and their descendants can be found stalking the great forests of the southwest. Kaguti are large, armored cousins of the guar and the elite. Their most distinctive features are their tusks and head crests. They are territorial, fierce, and hostile. They hunt in packs and have been known to flip a full-grown Nord in the air with ease. Scuttler and Bantam guar. The scuttler is a small, docile species of biped the size of a common house cat. They have no apparent forelegs and survive on eating smaller insects and groundworms. Having completely different reproductive and growth cycles, they are not related to the guar or elite. Scuttlers are more similar to the cliff racer family of feathery flyers than their form would suggest. Smugglers have sold them as pets in ports from Daggerfall to Haven. Bantam guar, despite their name, classify as part of the scuttler family and are not guar at all. Many have described them as ugly chickens, as they have a distinctive body shape and a behavior that remind them of the common bird. They retain the vestigial wings, and unlike their cliff racer and cliff darter cousins, they cannot fly. Southern Morrowind farmers raise them for their eggs and meat. Let's go look at a cliff racer. They're also known as to consist of a species such as long-tailed cliff racers and girdle-tailed cliff racers. They are large flying reptiles found throughout Morrowind. They possess long tails and large vertical sails along their spines. They are closely related to cliff striders and cliff darters. They are very aggressive and will attack anyone in sight. Cliff racers have good vision range and will often detect and follow travelers without being noticed. This can result in swarms of them descending upon the unwary adventurer. In their history, there are several differing theories as to their origins. Their alleged ancestors, known as bat lizards, were said to have been encountered by the Topal in the Pilot in the Merithic era. They were native to a forested island theorized to have been Gorn, Gorne. Some historians theorize that cliff striders, which are closely related to cliff racers, have a shared ancestry with hackwings. This possible divergence may have resulted from the Dunmer raiding Black Marsh for thousands of years to bring back things they deemed valuable, such as slave labor, livestock, and critters. One account states cliff racers migrated to the island of Vvardenfall from parts unknown, where, thanks to their numbers, they overwhelmed the dragon population that lived there and drove them out, though others claim that the sky lamps ate all the dragons of Morrowind. Vvardenfall locals in the Second Era used to claim that a visit to Vvardenfall wasn't a true visit unless you had cliff racers diving at you. Though cliff racers of that time were smaller and not as actively dangerous as those of later eras. Due to their pest-like nature in the late Third Era, cliff racers were driven from Vvardenfall by St. Juib the Eradicator, although they have been known to exist in mainland Morrowind well into the Fourth Era. The next section is also on Morrowind. It is the Homilies of the Blessed Almalexia. Sothasil and the Scribs. Young Sothasil, while playing in the egg mines, saw a number of scribs in a deep shaft, and he began to cast stones upon them, snickering as they skittered and scattered, until one of the scribs lifted its head up in agony and cried out to Sothasil, "Please, please, have mercy, little boy, for what is sport to you is suffering and death to us." And so Sothasil discovered that the idle amusements of one may be the solemn tortures of another. The Gwar and the Mud Crabs. The Gwar were so tormented by other creatures that they did not know where to go. As soon as they saw a single beast approach them, off they dashed in terror. One day they saw a pack of nixhounds ranging about, and in a desperate panic all the Gwar scuttled off towards the sea, determined to drown themselves rather than live in such a continual state of fear. But just as they got near the shoreline, a colony of mud crabs, frightened in turn by the approach of the Gwar, scuttled off and threw themselves into the water. "Truly," said one of the Gwar, "things are not so bad as they seem, for there is always someone worse off than you." More Morrowind beasts, there is the Drow. The Drow are ancient, part human, part octopus, and part crustacean sea monsters, commonly hunted for their skin to make armor, and Drow wax from their shells for its magical properties. The wax found within their shells is highly valuable and used if the player has a high alchemy skill. You will often encounter them in shallow water, in caves, and along the coastline. Drow can be found in high concentrations around Gnar Mok and Ebonheart in the waters below the bridge and the caves, in the deepest waters far off the coast of Seyda-Neen, and in Quoll Caves and Gnis. Drow tend to swarm up upon you while swimming or diving, so water walking is often a faster and safer alternative. When fighting them in melee, aim for where their tentacles connect to the torso. And mud crabs. Mud crabs are small, hard-shelled creatures found on the shores throughout Morrowind. They will only become aggressive when you come into close proximity of them. High concentrations of mud crabs can be found along the Bitter Coast near Seyda-Neen, Gnar Mok, Hlahwad, and Kahul. Be careful searching the diseased mud crab bodies, as you may contract swamp fever. Netch. The Netch are large, peaceful creatures resembling airborne jellyfish, with the size and disposition of cattle. They are supported by internal sacs of magical vapors. Netch are herded by farmers in peaceful areas as their hide makes good quality leather. The female, or Betty netch, is smaller than the male, or the bull, but it is more easily provoked into aggression, especially in herds where the female-male ratio is kept higher than in the wild for faster breeding. Some bull netch, however, have poisonous attacks. These creatures are non-aggressive, but can be defensive of their territory during their breeding season. Nixhounds. Nixhounds are medium-sized predators that have been known to hunt in packs. They may be fast, but they are not very dangerous for medium-level players. They are easily defeated with marksman weapons. Shock. Shocks are large and slightly aggressive beetles which use magical fire to attack. They can often be found in the grazelands in certain dungeons. And of course, then there are slaughterfish. Slaughterfish are common and aggressive fish found in the waters surrounding Morrowind and in the flooded areas of shipwrecks. They are encountered often in mass and will form into large packs behind the player when swimming. The Wounded Netch. A wounded netch lay himself down in a quiet corner of its feeding ground. His healthy companions came in great numbers to inquire after his health, yet each one helped himself to a share of the fodder which had been placed there for his use, so that the poor netch died, not from his wounds, but from the greed and carelessness of his erstwhile friends. And so it is clear that thoughtless companions may bring more harm than help. The Dubious Healer. Once upon a time, a Telvanni issued forth from his tower and proclaimed to all the world that he was a mighty and learned healer, a master of all alchemy and potions, and able to cure all diseases. Lord Vivek looked upon this wizard and listened to his boasting, and then asked him, "How can you pretend to prescribe for others the cure for all diseases when you are unable to cure yourself of your own manifest arrogance and foolishness?" The Boiled Kagudi. It is said that if a Kagudi steps into a boiling pool, he will leap out immediately to avoid harm. But if the Kagudi is standing in a pool, and a wizard slowly raises the temperature, measure by measure, to boiling, the Kagudi will calmly stand in place until he is boiled. Thus we see that we must be alert not only to the obvious danger, but also to the subtle degrees by which change may result in danger. The Red Mountain. The Red Mountain is a vast volcano that dominates the island of Vvardenfall in Morrowind and is the second highest mountain in Tamriel. The island actually took its name from the volcano. The original name of Red Mountain was Vvardenfall, which translates to City of the Strong Shield in Dwarmeris. On a clear day, Red Mountain's peak can be seen from the city of Mournhold, some 250 miles to the south. The mountain is generally considered the most dangerous region in all of Vvardenfall. Access to the Red Mountain is restricted. The tribunal has built the Ghost Fence, a giant spirit wall, around the perimeter of the mountain. There are only two ways inside without using an extended jump or levitation: entering through the Ghost Gate in the south or going through Kogoran in the north. This region is marked by the steep climbs to the top of the mountain and by the ash storms that fill the air and limit visibility to a few feet. Red Mountain is almost entirely uncharted, and few have ventured far within the Ghost Fence confines since its construction. It is known, however, that 4 ancient Dwemer citadels are hidden in the region, 3 of which are residences for Dagoth-Ur's most trusted ash vampires. The 4th is the lair of Dagoth-Ur himself. Even though this area is extremely dangerous, glass and ebony mines have been set up inside the ghost fence under Imperial Guard. Within the ghost fence lies a wasteland of deep ravines called Foyada and lava pools. Blighted monsters run free, and the minions of Dagoth-Ur, known as ash creatures, roam the land. The Foyada Mamea leads from the Ghost Gate to the Monmouth Legion fort near Balmora, and an unnamed Foyada follows the ghost fence northwest to Alderun. Just north of the ghost fence is the lost Dunmer stronghold of the 6th House, Cohogren. There is a secret entrance that links this structure with Red Mountain proper. This entrance is long and winding, however, and you will face many ash creatures and caves of the Cohogren. Ghost Gate has many supplies and information, so you're more likely to survive by using the Ghost Gate. Foyadas, or fire rivers in the native Ashlander language, are deep, ash-dark ravines which run down from the Red Mountain volcano on Vvardenfall. The lava from Red Mountain is very fluid and runs almost like water. During an eruption, lava pours down the mountainside and leaves the area bare of all vegetation. Once a Foyada is created, the chance of a new one lessens, as the lava will normally run down the existing one. There are good alternative roads when heading towards the rugged mountain, as they have a good footing, are clear of brush, and run for long distances. Vvardenfall is also called Black Isle. It is a large island located inside the bay-like inner sea and is surrounded by mainland Morrowind, with the exception of its northern coast, which meets the Sea of Ghosts. The island is dominated by the great volcano Red Mountain. The island itself is named after the original Dwemeri name of Red Mountain, literally translating to City of the Strong Shield. It is characterized by arid wastes, rocky highlands, and coastal wetlands filled with unusual and unique flora and fauna. Red Mountain's lava flows, eruptions, and ashfall cause Vvardenfall's landscape to undergo a constant cycle of death and rebirth. The soil becomes greatly fertilized thanks to the volcanic activity, and new plants and fungi emerge from the cooling ashes. It also causes the island to expand as the lava hardens. Vvardenfall was initially inhabited by House Dagoth, the only Chimera clan to have their capital, Cohogren, on the island, as well as the kingdom of the Dwemer. Following the Battle of Red Mountain that resulted in the erasure of House Dagoth, disappearance of the Dwemer, and ascension of the Tribunal, all of the Vvardenfall territory became an area held in trust for the people of Morrowind by the Tribunal Temple.